Alrighty, so I just took a shower, and I need my hair to give my hair some time to dry. So let's talk about Arms vs Fury a little bit in this early season, because I think it's kind of fun. Because I've actually ran Arms and Fury a decent bit in all types. Currently, I am sitting at 2046. The only thing I haven't timed is an Everbloom and a Murazon's Rise. The Everbloom, I have the Everbloom. I just haven't ran it. But the Murazon's Rise is a motherfucker. That dungeon kicks your ass. And if you're wondering about the number up here, you're wondering about this number up here, that is the amount of dungeons I have run so far that have the ability to drop a two-handed weapon that have not. So I'm currently 0 and 33. I'm just keeping that as a counter if you're wondering, for fun. So first up, Fury. I am running. I'm still running old 4-set Fury with this offset chest piece because it's haste mastery, and I'm just running T30 standard Fury. I know that T31, which is the new Amir Jasil tier, you need 4-set for it to feel decent at all. A lot of people are saying they're kind of preferring arms over it. People that have it, but I want to get it in my hands and touch it and play with it before I actually decide to judge how good it is. But this is what I've been running for Fury. It's been going very well. 19 Blackwork hold, doing 17k overall. We almost timed this Dawn of the Infinite, but we had a wipe on the first boss. I was playing Fervor of Battle Arms on this one, playing a different variation of arms. I've been playing a lot of arms and Fury, depending on the key. But I think Fury still cranks. Fury's still really good, especially with this T30 set in this early season. You just replace all of your off-piece, different pieces here, and it's still good. It's still Fury. It's anger management, Ravager, Onslaught. It's the good shit. You know it. You like it. It's good. Wait, why did I just log out? The log out. I just flopped on. Because I've actually played a couple different variations of arms. Um, it's all basically the same build, but I've played a bit of variation with it. So for my arms gear setup, I am running. I'll show you in a second. So for my arm setup, I'm running a different ring. I'm running 2-piece with legs and gloves. I have yet to get a new pair of boots. I'm still running the same pair of boots. But other than that, I have just been running pure eye level in every slot that I can, aside from 2-piece, because the 4 too great. And I've primarily been running this Fervor of Battle collateral damage build. I tried running Blade Storm, but my biggest problem with Blade Storm is you didn't have Executor's Precision, you lost a lot of single target. Yeah, you can do some big pump in AoE, and in those AoE builds, realistically, you're putting up your Thunderous Roar, you're spinning, getting the Hurricane buff, you're keeping the Hurricane buff by spinning again, and you're doing all this dot damage, and you're doing Blade Storm. It's okay for all this AoE, but I've personally been farming a lot of Murazon's Rise to try and get the weapon, and you get on bosses with the Blade Storm build, it feels terrible. And when bosses are deadly and dangerous, it just feels like dog shit. So this Fervor of Battle build I've actually been enjoying, and I've actually changed these points around a couple times. The standard one that I had in the whatchamacallit, the build guides video I had before had Test of Might instead of In for the Kill. After playing with In for the Kill, it just feels way better to play. It does a bit more damage. Test of Might is decent, but because I'm kind of half and half, I don't really get to pick and really set my stats up. Not having a lot of haste baseline, running In for the Kill instead of Test of Might just feels way better and way better for me. So I'd recommend trying that out. This point is flexible. There's a guy named Deswind who I remember playing Warrior in Shadowlands, and then I respect his opinion amount when it comes to warrior stuff. And he was messing around with taking a point out of sudden death, which was the standard build looked like this, right? But he was recommending taking a point out of sudden death and changing it over to cleave. One of the things you'll find when you go into these whirlwind situations where you're in a pack, whirlwind, 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 overpower, whirlwind, 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 overpower, and then you're kind of at a junction where you can either keep trying to spend rage with whirlwind, or you can use your martial prowess 2 stacks to send a empowered mortal strike. When you're doing these mass AoE packs, it felt a lot better to use cleave. Using cleave early to also just get deep wounds on everything to just really increase your overall bleed damage also felt pretty good, and that worked with blood surge as well, just so you can whirlwind more. But it feels weird, man. I've tried a couple different variations of this build specifically, and nothing's really popping about it. I have tried it with more single target focus with Massacre. I've debated trying it with Bladestorm potentially, but because you're not getting any of the real benefits of Bladestorm, which are these down here, it's doing AoE, but then if you're AoEing with improved sweeping strikes, after sweeping strikes ends, it only has a 9-second cooldown. So you're using your whole sweeping strikes window, and then you're blade storming, maybe? And then you're going back to sweeping strikes? I don't know. The cleave felt decent. I tried running it with Massacre as well, just because having an additional with Executioner's Precision, it felt pretty good. Having an additional 15% on bosses, so I did gain a little bit more damage on bosses. I haven't tried running it with Exhilarating Blows. Exhilarating Blows feels kind of bad. I wish instead in Shadowlands there was in your Soulbinds a talent point that you could put that had a chance to double your Mortal Strike. You just hit another Mortal Strike. Bing, bing, oh! If that was here instead, that would be fucking sick, man. That would be way better, way cooler. But I haven't tried with Exhilarating Blows, but because we're primarily using Fervor of Battle and Whirlwind, I'm like, I don't know about that, right? So I'm kind of floating around at this point, which I don't know what to do with. When we get tier 31, this build might feel out a little better, because with tier 31 and Sudden Death as arms, we're going to be able to not even really have to keep up Thunderclap with the bleed, because with Sudden Death probably proccing a significant amount with all of the bleeds we have going on, just early on, you're going to be able to keep your bleeds going through Deep Wounds and Rend Ticking by just getting Execute procs and then that into a pack of mobs that also give you priority damage with tier 31, because you're also putting an additional bleed on the main target, so you're dealing additional damage to it. So this might feel pretty good in T31 potentially once I have Force set. But right now I'm just kind of floating around at this point. I don't know what to take. I'm like, do I Storm Wall? No, Full Splitter doesn't really do anything. I could put a point in here and get some additional crit. Massacre has felt a little better. Personally, I feel like Massacre is kind of the way to go. With this setup, because there are situations where you've killed a decent amount of the pack, but there are sometimes these lieutenant mobs that are really high health. That these help you kind of chunk through them a little more with Executioner's Precision. Right now with Sanguine, it does help having you can target cleave off of something else with Execute, and then get the Executioner's Precision damage on your main target. You can, because of Sanguine, generally you're going to have some mobs that are higher health, so playing arms in general with Sanguine does feel a little better because of the healing debuff reduction that Fury doesn't have, and a lot of other classes aren't really running. Like, if you play with a DH, they're not really running Mortal Dance. Rogues aren't going to run Wounding Poison a lot of the time. In those situations, I feel like it's better to run Atrophic or Crippling, just to really kind of keep your tank alive with attack speed reduction, right? So it does feel decent to play on this week because of Sanguine, but realistically, I think this might be my preferred setup for Fervor of Battle until I get Tier. But realistically, right now, I have played both ways a significant. I've tried Arms, I've tried Fury, and I just prefer Fury. I really, really, I much prefer Fury currently in this early tier set. Even if you're getting something like 2 set, um, like R2, like R2 set gives us. Sorry, let. Uh, well, R2 set. Oh yeah, it gives us 50% increased Odin's Fury damage and the Bloodthirst crits on your primary target. 3 of those. Even if you have, even if I had 2-piece right now, if I had 2-piece, I would probably be running Arms 2-piece, with the Ren damage and the Rens being able to proc sudden death instead of Fury. I don't think Fury 2-piece is very good. It really looks like Fury needs to, or at least to me, it really seems like Fury needs 4 set to actually kind of shine. So I'm planning on, once I get 4 set, we obviously have the Catalyst charge. I got my Mark of Mastery, so that's a heroic tier piece. I have all of these 467, 470 pieces in my bags, that I can Catalyst either which way. I'm hoping for something really good in the vault, and we are killing heroic tendril on Monday, which has the chance to give me, I think, helmet. So this is my Bis necklace, this is my Bis belt, and this helmet could also be very, very juicy. Because I haven't gotten any gear from. So if let's say for an example we kill Tendril, I get this helmet, I open my vault, I've got like a Myth Track chess piece or something, and then I can throw my Mark of Mastery and then Catalyst. In that situation, by Tuesday, I could have 4 set. And I think that would be super, super good. And I wanted to try it out either which way. Um, but until then, honestly, right now, early on, I am running just last tier set, Fury, running all the offset pieces that I have so far, and it's working really well for me. Working really well. If you're struggling with damage, if you're seeing other people play Arms, honestly, play which one you prefer. Um, I think Arms probably pops off a little better in these really big pulls that you're probably seeing more coordinated groups doing, because of Thunderous Roar lasting 5 more seconds, having 5% more crit chance, Arms being a bit more focused around bleeds, and the fact that Arms, while spamming something like Whirlwind and Warbreaker, and even in a Blade Storm build, is uncapped. Fury generally just is always consistently good. You're not uncapped, you have Thunderous Roar, but you are always just doing good damage, right? Like, if we go to the boss fight on Amalgamation of Souls, it's 144k, just pure single target, right? Really, really good. But if we had, see this boss fight right here, I only did 124k on Tier the Infinite Keeper, and that was with running the Massacre talent, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. I would say it's certainly up to preference, but currently I'm much preferring Fury. Fury as well, especially in these dungeons. The ones I'm farming at least, like Blackrock Hold. I'll do a little, I think if I've got some time, I'll have the time. I just need to actually sit down and do a little overview. These dungeons that I'm running over and over and over again significantly, like Blackrock Hold and Morozon's Rise, I feel comfortable actually talking to you about things you can look for and how to play them as a warrior. So I'll probably make some videos about that pretty soon, just because I've farmed them so much trying to get a 2-handed weapon. But by the end of the week, I'm hoping to get a, or not hoping, I will get this 20 Everblue. And be that big of a. But Murazon's Rise is holy shit. That thing needs to be nerfed. I really hope we see some big plus two in the upcoming patch because we really, really need. Throne of the Tides, that last. Most of Throne of the Tides, I don't really have that big of a problem with. It's only that last little hallway. Like, this little hallway in Throne of the Tides is an absolute god. Like this pack with the poison hunters and the casters, and then they jump away from you into these infinitely spawning corruptions that add a stacking debuff on the sentry, and then you can't purge this swell cast. So you're just taking all of this damage over and over again into a 6 caster pack with you're not running a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Like I timed this key with a Blood Decay, and what kind of fucked us up is I think our Evoker pushed everything into the wall, and it kind of really screwed us a little bit in terms of picks. And but like it, so this is gonna, unless they like significantly nerf this. I mean, even with other keys and how you've probably seen the power of it, Vengeance Demon Hunter is going to be incredible acts like this, right? Um, but most of this trash, honestly, haven't really had too much of a problem with. Like these Sentinels, I have reflected this crushing depth debuff, and you reflect it, and it does over 2 million damage. Like there's a lot you can do. You can reflect the Fork Lightning for the Focus Tempest during this boss, as an example. But I'll go over bosses, or I'll go over dungeons, and talk about them different videos. But yeah, that's just kind of how I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, like if I can get basically all 20s, like this was that this is that this is the dawn of the. I mean, hunters are broken as fuck. But if I can get 20s and some 21s all within the first week without tier, I think we're doing okay. But the main thing really holding Warrior back in general, which is why a lot of people are looking at arms potentially, is the target cap. The target cap hurts us a lot. You see a lot of classes, Vengeance DH, Havoc DH, BM Hunter, not target cap. They're just doing damage to every mage. Like, it, target cap has hurt us a lot. But before I keep rambling, I'm gonna get some sleep. I just finished watching Worlds, but it's 7 a.m. I'm gonna put this in the chamber, and I'll throw it up tomorrow. But I'm gonna get some sleep, and I will see you next time. And have a good one. Peace.